Hello, everybody. What is good? Welcome into the Classic Polasek Podcast. Jonathan Polasek here. Yes, don't worry. I did wash this between last week and this week. It's become one of my new favorite shirts. I'm not a New Mexico State fan, but go Aggies. Got this at a little sale up here for like $6 or $7. So I don't know why I wouldn't wear it in the wintertime. It's comfortable and obviously ready to go again on another edition of the Classic Polasek Podcast. Week 13 in the NFL in the books. Now, after I did the show last week, things kind of hit the fan with one of the most powerful teams in the NFL, and that would be the Kansas City Chiefs, and Kareem Hunt getting dismissed from the team as he got in trouble for something that happened in February that the team knew about, that he essentially lied to the team about what actually happened. Do I think he deserved that? Maybe not. I think if you have a guy like Kareem, and I get this as maybe a statement by the Chiefs, but somebody out there is going to pick him up. We saw midweek last week, Reuben Foster, the talented linebacker who was on San Francisco. San Francisco told him, they said, you get in trouble again with domestic violence, we're going to kick you off the team. And sure enough, they did. Not a day later, the Washington Redskins picked him up. And that's why there were all the Redskins jokes as far as picking up Kareem Hunt, which obviously hasn't happened. But that was the joke, is that they've picked up a couple of guys, or a guy like Reuben Foster, that has domestic violence on his record. Now, we all know what's happened to the Redskins. We'll get to that here in just a little bit with the quarterback issues. Sad to see Colt McCoy get hurt. Former Texas Longhorn quarterback who deserved to play more. Obviously, injury set him back there. So back to Kareem Hunt. Do I think he deserved to get kicked off the team for what he did do? Yes. Should you ever lay hands or feet, in his instance, on a woman? Absolutely not. So that's the simple side of things. Now, I think the Chiefs were prepared to keep Kareem Hunt if, when they asked him about this incident the first time, he would have been honest. Here's the grand scheme of things. It's time for lessons with me. Somebody's calling me. It would be my wife. Here, let's take this live. Hello? Hey, hon. I'm doing the podcast. Everything going all right? Cool. I'm going to make some chicken quesadillas before you get home. Is that all right? I know. Yeah, so you'll be home in like 5:15. Or 5:20. 5:30. Okay. Yep, I'll have that ready for us. Okay, cool. Love you. Okay, bye. So that's always fun. But obviously want to take that, be genuine with you guys. This is a very lax thing. Thank you for liking the Facebook page and subscribing on YouTube if you do that as well. SoundCloud acting up for me because I've hit a limit on how much I can put on there. So MP3 file will also be on the Facebook page. Do I think Kareem Hunt deserved to get kicked off for what he did? Yes. Do I believe that they were willing to forgive him if he told the truth? Yes. The biggest difference, anybody who's watching this show out there can attest to this. There is a line that you walk every single day. You walk every single decision. And then there's do I go the right way or do I go the wrong way? Do I tell the truth or do I lie about it? Sure enough, Kareem Hunt decided he wanted to lie to the Chiefs about what happened that night in Cleveland, Ohio, about him having an altercation with a woman. There were some things. We all saw the body footage and then the hotel footage. He will get a job somewhere else. And unfortunately for the Chiefs, they're going to have to deal with that. Maybe, there's always an outside possibility he goes to somewhere in their division. However, they were not willing to take the chance and hold on to him because he lied But yes, domestic violence. And even though what he did was not domestic violence because they were not together, that was assault, it's still kind of wrapped up in the same bubble as far as that goes. No room for it, period. So, where does the high-flying Chiefs go from here? I think they've done it once. Andy Reid's done it once with Kareem Hunt, obviously. I think next year they shore up that defense. 2, 3, 4 rounds in, you get some good defensive guys, and then round 4 or 5, you go after another guy like Kareem Hunt. Toledo running back. There's plenty of guys out there. Division II level, 1AA level. You can go Division I level, clearly, but find you a guy that is literally Kareem Hunt minus the baggage. Simple enough. Okay, so enough on that topic. Let's get into what we had last week. Week 13 was decent for me. Went 2 games over 500 against the spread. Obviously, I picked my Cowboys on the Thursday night game, so that was a big win. I also, my lock pick of the week, Houston against Cleveland. Obviously, Houston gave Baker Mayfield a lot of fits, like I had mentioned that they would. And then a couple of other games I was proud of. I was the only one that got the Baltimore-Atlanta game right. Figured Atlanta would put up a good fight, but Baltimore able to take advantage, and sure enough, Baltimore is right there. The Chargers beating the Pittsburgh Steelers makes the AFC West an interesting division. However, I think that also makes the AFC North an interesting division because Baltimore nipping at the heels of the Pittsburgh Steelers. So we'll see where that goes from here. Baltimore has Kansas City coming up this week. So going to be a lot of fun, which, by the way, Garrett went 8-8, Evan went 5-11, Trevor 6-10. I'm at 93, 85, and 12 on the year. Garrett 86, 92, and 12. Evan 85, 93, and 12. And Trevor is 90, 88, and 12 on the year. So that means week 14 in the NFL. And boy, how fast are we getting to the end of the season? Teams that were quickly rising to the top, like the Washington Redskins, early on in the year, they have hit the injury bug. Mark Sanchez now the starter. Josh Jackson, who I thought was a NBA basketball player, which he is. I thought Josh Jackson was coming off the Phoenix Suns to go play quarterback for the Washington Redskins. I was clearly wrong on that. However, it is a weird situation for the Redskins, and I do think going down the stretch, it will be difficult for them to get anything done. So let's start with what we are doing tonight. We have the Jacksonville Jaguars at the Tennessee Titans, and I had them at -5 earlier today, so that's what we're going to write it down as. It's what I've sent to my friends. I think the Titans home team. I think Jacksonville takes a step back from last week where they shut out the Colts somehow, some way. Have no idea how they did that, but I will take Tennessee on a Thursday night football. All right, Atlanta at Green Bay. Green Bay without Mike McCarthy now because they got rid of him. Am I shocked they did that? Absolutely not. Do I believe that Aaron Rodgers is capable of much more than what he's been doing in Green Bay? Absolutely. He's not leaving. They're never going to let him leave, but who will they bring in is the big question. And I assume that they're gonna take care of that in the offseason. They're going to get their pick of the litter, assuming that Jason Garrett keeps his job in Dallas. The Green Bay Packers job is the best job in the NFL that will most likely come open, or that is going to be open this offseason. So they'll get their pick, whoever they want, really. And so they're 5-point favorites at Lambeau, coming off a terrible loss to the Arizona Cardinals, who I said I would not pick again this year, regardless of the spread. We'll see if I stick to that this week. Green Bay -5, Atlanta coming off a loss to Baltimore. I think Green Bay has some sort of gifted effort. I think Aaron Rodgers comes out and shows a little bit in this matchup of 4-win teams. I think Green Bay gets it done by a touchdown, and they cover that 5-point spread. Baltimore, Kansas City, definitely the game of the week in the AFC. But for me, watching Baltimore, will they do anything but run the football? Probably not. Lamar Jackson coming in has given them a spark. However, will he be able to throw the football? If he's going to throw the football, it's going to be against this Chiefs defense. However, it's at Arrowhead. I think he's going to get a little bit of a wake-up call to what a talented team at home looks like. Chiefs minus 6.5. I will take the Chiefs in that. I don't think that line's actually big enough. So if it ends up being inside 6.5, okay, more power to you. We will see that on Sunday. These are all the noon games, by the way, except for the Thursday nighter tonight. All right, so the Carolina Panthers, they have gone quickly from one of the highest powered offenses and teams just in general in the league to, are they going to make the playoffs? They travel to a pesky Browns team who I've liked all year. They've kind of gone downhill against the spread, but they're at home. Carolina, a good team. This is a tough one for me, considering that they only have a 1.5 point favorite to Carolina. Cleveland at home, decent defense. I'll take Cleveland. Give me the Brownies. Why not? If I take an L on that, that's fine. I'm sure there'll be plenty of people out there that'll give me heck for that one. All right, Indianapolis at Houston. Houston minus 4.5 at home. Don't think the line's big enough. Give me Houston. Houston is playing lights out football right now. I mean, we saw them go from 0-3 to now they're 9-3. And arguably the hottest team in the NFL. That defense playing extremely well. J.J. Watt, you know what I think about him. He's, if not the most talented, one of the top 3 most talented defenders in the NFL. I'll take Houston at home minus 4.5. I think they win that one at least by a touchdown, if not more. Clearly, you can see the predicted score on OddsShark. By the way, thanks to OddsShark. Help me out with these lines. I think it'll be 28-16 for that game. So New England, minus 7.5. They have to go down to Miami. Miami is a pesky team in the fact that every year New England trots down onto Miami, and Miami gives them a little bit of a run. This year, I think it is the exact same. I get a touchdown and a half point with Miami at home. Give me the Dolphins. Why not? Make it a little bit interesting in that division, even though it's not. It's always New England's division until Belichick and Brady retire. The New Orleans Saints, 8.5 point favorites at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay has been up and down. You guys know it this year. 8.5 points is a ton at home. What Buccaneer team are you going to get? I think New Orleans, after a nice long rest, losing to Dallas, I think New Orleans comes back. Still my Super Bowl favorite. Can't really go back on that now, even though I loved how my Cowboys played the other day. I'll take New Orleans minus 8.5 on the road. I think they get it done by 10 and escape Tampa Bay. New York Giants at the Washington Redskins. Giants 3.5 point favorites. I'm not sure a couple of weeks back you would have thought that the Giants would be favored against the Redskins. However, we all know that the Redskins have come upon some injury bug. They put 3 people on the IR. They lost Colt McCoy to an injury. Obviously, we know what happened to Alex Smith. Is this the week that they finally say, you know what, Adrian Peterson, you gave us a 90-yard run last week. You didn't get over 100 yards for the game. We tried to save you. I don't understand why they did that to begin with. I think the Giants come out and play inspired football, but I don't think that they cover a home underdog. I like Washington plus 3.5, even with a third stringer. I think there's a possibility for the, I guess we'll call it an upset in that particular instance. All right, the New York Jets, they go on the road to the Buffalo Bills. This is another one of those games where you're like, okay, last place schedule. I know Buffalo made the playoffs last year. However, the Jets looked good against Tennessee. I'll give them that. I do think Buffalo at home is difficult. I don't know what the weather's supposed to be like. I'll take Buffalo at home, minus 3.5, and we'll go ahead and chalk that one up. The Cincinnati Bengals, boy, they started off hot, didn't they? And then obviously they came upon the injury bug as well. Chargers at home -14. It's a big line for the Chargers. Chargers coming off a solid win against Pittsburgh. Do I think it's by more than 2 touchdowns? Cincinnati's run defense is really, really bad. Give me the Chargers. Chargers going to make it really interesting in the AFC West. They're just sitting there chomping at Kansas City's heels as we come down the stretch. And then that Thursday night game coming up with those two going to be massive as we come down the stretch. Denver -4 on the road at San Francisco. Denver playing well too at 6-6, kind of on the outside looking in at the playoffs. Why not? Denver, AFC West representing. Denver -4. I will take them as they will go on the road and beat the San Francisco 49ers. Now, the Detroit Lions, another one of those teams. I want them to be good. I want them to have Matt Stafford a good year before he, is out of his prime, which some people would argue he's probably close to out of his prime. It's at Arizona. The Lions are 4-8. Arizona's coming off of somehow win at Green Bay. I'll take Arizona, the home dog. I don't ever like sacrificing points if I'm the home team. So I get 3 points, Arizona at home against Detroit, even though I do think Detroit wins that game. All right, Philadelphia at Dallas. There are not enough words to describe how much I hate the Philadelphia Eagles. I was discussing with a friend of mine the other day how much I hate a lot of teams in the NFL, and I'm sure you guys would say the same thing about my Cowboys, so feel free down in the comments. I'd love to hear the haters. But the Philadelphia Eagles, they're playing good football. They've won back-to-back games. Dallas Cowboys are coming off their best game of the year, especially defensively. Offense, it's going to be a grinded-out game every time. Feels like. Can't go against my Dallas Cowboys. I think they win it by more than 3.5. I know that's a little bit of a biased pick, but man, I love how my Cowboys are playing right now. Pittsburgh Steelers coming off a loss. Maybe shouldn't have lost that game to the Chargers. -10.5 points at Oakland. Oakland gave Kansas City a good run, especially against the spread last week. A lot of people are picking the under. You can see that 58% of people are picking the under on OddsShark. Pittsburgh -10.5. 10.5 points is a lot. I think Oakland, at the black hole, they make it interesting. They lose the football game, but I'll take the 10.5 points. 10.5 is a good number. Obviously, the 14 points that I laid off earlier with the Chargers is just because Cincinnati's playing awful football right now. So game of the week for me, I think the Rams at the Bears. Mitchell Trubisky expected to play. Is this where we see the Rams get their second loss, kind of opening back up the door for the New Orleans Saints? I say yes. I think at Chicago is going to be tough. Guys have been playing in Los Angeles all year, where it's nice, good weather. I've heard it's amazingly good weather. Give me Chicago. I get home. I get +3. I get the better defense. Yes, I said it. They have a better defense than the Los Angeles Rams. Give me the Bears outright. Lock it up. I'm going to look like a fool, but I'm locking that one up because if it comes out to fruition, I'm going to be looking really, really solid with that pick. Certainly would enjoy seeing the Rams lose another one. Obviously New Orleans handed them their first loss of the year a couple weeks back. Minnesota and, I wrote Miami. Minnesota is at Seattle. Seattle's playing really good football. They're one of those teams that they're going to float around, and sure enough, they're probably going to make the playoffs. So do I trust Russell Wilson at home on a Monday night against the Vikings? Yes, I do. I think Seattle makes the playoffs. It's going to be a really fun last month of the year to see if they do, because I think he's a good quarterback. he is able to lead his team constantly. So will he get the job done and take him to the playoffs? I don't want to say yes or no because I don't want to be wrong. I know I should be a little bit more decisive. I'll say no. They're not going to go to the playoffs, even though they do win this week against Minnesota. So there you go. Guys, if you didn't catch the beginning of this, SoundCloud is not going to be an option. I don't want to pay for an MP3 source. So I'll see what I can do. If you guys have any suggestions as far as where I should put it, iTunes, Spotify, a couple of podcast places, please let me know in the comments below because I'm more than willing to do that. I would just like it to be free unless you guys can find a sponsor for me. I would be more than happy to put a little sponsor right up here in this corner and hopefully make some money off this thing at some point. So if you guys have any suggestions, please let me know. Facebook, Classic Polasek Podcast. Please share this with your friends, not just the video, but just let them know. Be like, hey, you know what? You know that Jonathan guy? The guy that used to do sports for a living? Go like his podcast. I know this is early on in the process. I'm just picking out games and enjoying chatting with you guys. However, down the line, this will be much more produced, hopefully. Might be able to snag a sponsor, like I said, and then be able to take that a little bit more seriously because obviously you work harder whenever you get paid for it, right? So I appreciate you guys tuning in. Let me know your lock of the week down below as well. I really want to hear your thoughts on the whole Kareem Hunt situation too. I know it was quite a week being up here in Kansas City as everybody went berserk, knowing that they were going to lose their guy that led them to a rushing title last year and then was obviously a part of that master offense that they had. But now he's not there. So we'll see what ends up happening. Appreciate you guys tuning into this. This has been the Classic Polasek Podcast. I will see you guys in Week 15 of the NFL season. I cannot wait. Enjoy the football, everybody. We'll see you next time.